Good morning. Welcome to the latest edition of Raising the NSBAR. I'm Jeff Lasky, the CEO of this great organization, the North Shore-Barrington Association of Realtors. I hope you are staying safe and healthy. I have a couple of topics I want to address this morning, so I'm flying solo. How about we treat this, first of all, as an Ask the CEO type session? Please type in your questions in the comments, and Bradley will send them over to me. As time permits, I will do my best to get to them between topics. If your question is of a more personal rather than general interest, please contact NSBAR at 847-480-7177, and staff will assist you. Due to the experiences we've all had recently with the COVID-19 pandemic, I'd like to take just a few minutes to address the current status of our operations here at NSBAR, followed by a look forward into the near future. My first day of work at NSBAR was Thursday, March 12th. After being at the formation of our regional MLS, MRED, back in 2008, and spending the ensuing years there contributing in many different ways, I came over to NSBAR having been given the opportunity to lead an organization and staff using over 20 years of experience in this industry. I was full of exciting ideas, and I was ready to try them out. I was to start that Thursday, as that was the date I was scheduled to fly out to NAR's Association Executives Institute in San Diego. However, by March 12th, conferences were canceled, and frankly, we were already into the COVID-19 pandemic. I spent 3 days in the office before we stopped staff and members from coming into our facilities. Since Tuesday, March 17th, we've been operating remotely. It wasn't until last week when we began the process of slowly bringing some staff back into our physical locations. So let me start by saying congratulations to everyone at NSBAR for their resiliency and willingness to make so many changes so quickly during these exceptionally challenging times. The success of our remote operations since mid-March is a credit to all our members, board of directors, and staff. NSBAR has not missed a single day of operations during this crisis, and that's a point of great pride to us. And in fact, we've actually boosted attendance in our Zoom classes, pivoted to virtual meetings for our board meetings and committee meetings, and significantly increased overall member communications and engagement, all at a time when being together while remaining apart has been important to us all. This coming Friday, June 26th, as Illinois officially prepares to enter phase 4 of Governor Pritzker's Restore Illinois plan, NSBAR's actions remain guided and guarded by the recommendations of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and other public health officials. Our number one goal is the safety of our members and staff and their families. This is an important phase into which we will enter very slowly and carefully, as it will involve more interpersonal interactions than any of us have been able to conduct in quite some time. And while we have done well so far, we do not want to restore things so rapidly that we risk a potential outbreak. We will continue to monitor the situation closely on a week-to-week and sometimes even day-to-day basis to see what, if any, adjustments need to be made. We appreciate your patience and understanding as we all adapt to the next normal of interacting with our valued membership. NSBAR's operations in phase 4 will continue to represent an abundance of caution and are a hybrid model that seeks to reduce the potential risk of COVID-19 transmission to our members and staff members and families, and at the same time, provide the great service that everyone is used to. So what remains unchanged? Our entire staff remains available to all NSBAR members via phone or text, once again, 847-480-7177, or email during our normal business hours of Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you have any questions at all, please reach out, just as you always have. All NSBAR classes remain available as remote learning opportunities. To see available offerings, please visit our online class calendar at NSBAR.org. Regular official NSBAR meetings, like our board of directors meetings, our committee meetings, will continue to be conducted remotely. We will also continue with all the precautionary measures that we instituted already for phase 3. We have deep cleaned and disinfected our NSBAR Northbrook and Barrington facilities to make sure that it may safely support the return of a limited number of our staff to our physical environment. And please note, because our Barrington facility is located within a shared office environment, there are additional challenges involved. So while we have started having staff there again, please be patient, as you'll be required to comply with the safety requirements we all deal with when entering buildings that have multiple offices. There, you'll have to ring a buzzer, a front doorbell. They'll let you in, and you'll go to the front desk from there. So just be a little extra patient with that process for those of you taking advantage of our Barrington facility. Much of our NSBAR staff team will continue to operate remotely in order to maintain maximum physical distance for those who must go back to work in our office. NSBAR's Northbrook and Barrington doors will remain locked with no admittance into the office space for anyone other than specifically authorized staff. And just so you know, staff is required to wear masks inside our Northbrook facility when interacting with one another, as well as obviously at our Barrington facility. Needed supply orders from our board store, including personal protective equipment, PPE, are being packaged by staff wearing gloves. Again, to be overly cautious to make sure everything is safe. We maintain a written record of all interactions with members. So God forbid something happens where we need to reach out to anybody who's been in contact with that staff person. We know exactly who to contact. Supply orders are now being filled only, and remain being filled only by advanced appointment. So if you need supplies from NSBAR or need to drop off a laptop or tech device for repair, including central lock boxes, please, you have to call in advance so we're ready for you. And that's at 847-480-7177. So you can make arrangements with staff for dropping off or picking up, again, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. To make sure that our interactions are safe and as contactless as possible, all items to be dropped off or picked up will be placed on a table. There's a table that we've set up outside the NSBAR Northbrook main door. So I know that's a lot of information, but we just want to make sure that everybody's up to date on all the precautions that we're taking to make sure that we can continue to provide you service in the safest way possible. So I want to emphasize to you about what's new to phase 4, which again is in place this coming Friday. Now, our staff that's entering our facility all staff members are having their temperatures checked daily before they are allowed entry. So we're able to tell if anybody's temperature is off, we can make sure they don't come in and that they're sent home. Very select and limited invitation only meetings for small in-person gatherings. These are going to be well under 50 people, more in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 or even less. Those are going to be conducted in our large training room, but there's only going to be, at this point in time, I'm planning for 3 of those late in July. They're going to be under strictly observed physical distancing protocols, including requiring facial masks for all attendees. Doing this on a careful and strictly limited basis will enable us to learn how to conduct these kinds of meetings as safely as possible within our physical environment. If all goes well, we'll all need to be prepared to be in phase 4 for a while. And I want to emphasize this to everybody, if you're not aware of it already. Phase 5 really is post-pandemic. Phase 5 means that a vaccine that is effective and widely available is out there, or the elimination of new cases over a sustained period of time through herd immunity or other factors has occurred. So I think any reasonable person has to assume that that's going to be quite a while before we're anywhere near assuming that we're going to be moving into phase 5. We also have to be cognizant of, it's possible that we could have things happen that would cause us to move backwards to phase 3. The Illinois Department of Public Health is closely monitoring data and receiving on the ground feedback from local health departments and regional healthcare councils, and they will recommend moving back to the previous phase based on the following information, or I should say the following factors: a sustained rise in the positivity rate, sustained increase in hospital admissions for COVID-19-like illness, reduction in hospital capacity threatening surge capabilities, or a significant outbreak in the region that threatens the health of the entire region. So I'm going to suggest that we keep our thoughts and prayers on positive outcomes here. With the process already in place and the procedures we are following, NSBAR will continue to provide service to its members. Hopefully, we'll soon be able to celebrate together in person, getting through this, because of sensible behavior and caring enough for each other to be extra careful until we can get a vaccine in place. So wanted to take a couple of minutes to make sure everybody was up to date on what we're doing regarding COVID-19 and the pandemic. If there aren't any questions regarding that, I'm going to move forward, talk about a couple of other issues while I have your attention. We'll start off with what's coming up for NSBAR. And this is the time of year when we kick into our planning mode. Our fiscal year now begins October 1st. So over the summer months, we're going to be engaging in the strategic planning process, finalizing of committees for next year, and opening the committee application process, creating and finalizing next year's budget, holding our leadership summit for incoming board and committee chairs, and having our installation event, though it remains to be seen exactly how installation is going to be done. I know that a significant aspect or a significant part of it's going to be done virtually. We'll see if by then in September, we'll be able to engage in some kind of a celebration along with that. All of what I've just mentioned is going to be done by September 30th. So looking forward to jumping in. It's going to be a busy summer for us here at NSBAR. I do have a couple of other quick announcements to make. NSBAR's next survey is going to be going out tomorrow. We're going to be asking about a couple of changes we'd like Illinois Realtors to consider regarding the ethics process. Just recently, they heard us on some issues involving that process, and they actually made some changes. But we're interested in possibly going a bit farther in what's required in making ethics complaints and things of that nature, but we need your help. We're not going to go any farther with this without the solid support of our own membership. And so please take a moment to fill out the survey when it comes out, so we'll know if you want us to spend any more time on this going forward. Also, NSBAR continues to accept nominations for the Affiliate of the Year, Humanitarian of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Realtor of the Year, the mountaintop there, right? Bradley is displaying in various places during this podcast the link to the webpage where you can find out more about these individual awards and nominate those you believe are deserving of consideration. It's easy enough. If you go to NSBAR.org, you'll find in the About Us oh, okay. Sorry, I guess I was muted there for a moment. Anyway, there is a significant level of prestige and recognition for those who are selected for these honors. So I really strongly encourage everyone listening to nominate those who you believe have earned at least consideration for one of these prestigious awards. Let's give a pat on the back to those who deserve recognition. So anyway, just wanted to get out a few announcements to you guys today. Please don't forget to keep an eye on NSBAR communications to stay abreast of developments. Unless there's anything else I need to cover, Bradley, I'm looking on the, hold on just a second. Modern technology, there we go. Okay, good. So it doesn't look like there's anything else to cover. So I want to thank you, Bradley, for the great job running the board. Thanks to you for tuning in to Raising the NSBAR. I very much appreciate it. We'll be back to having guests next week. So I'll talk to you then. Thanks.